in the beginning of the show, people commented that a portion got dropped or deleted. Like I was talking about Biden getting raided and it was gone. And we've had so many of these kind of things happen that I don't believe they can be coincidences, because it happens a lot. So someone just super chatted that they just started watching, and in the beginning, the intro was cut. Like, you can't actually hear me talk about what happened with Biden. But we talk about him again and again and again throughout this show. I want to tell everybody what happened with Turning Point USA, because I'm not sure we ever actually talked about it. But when we went live with Turning Point USA, you may have noticed we were late. We weren't late, actually. We were on time. The stream started right on time. And then what happened, Serge? Remember? You guys were like, it says we're live, but we're not coming up. Nothing's happening.
Right. Yeah. It was live to us, and it's live on my feeds.
But nobody could see it. Right. They were like, where's the show? The show's delayed.
Right.
And then I got messages, and they were like, people were telling me after the show, they were like, hey, the show didn't go up for like 10 minutes. But we were live streaming on our end. Everything was going through.
Right.
And I'm wondering if, we had Charlie Kirk, we had Bannon, we had James Lindsay, we had Luke Rudkowski, you and me. I'm wondering if the people at YouTube were like, boss, what do we do? Tim Pool, Bannon, Kirk, Luke Rudkowski, Ian, James Lindsay are on stage in a massive stadium with thousands of seats, and they're going to talk at this massive convention. What do we do with this?
And then they were like, holding pattern, and then they watched us, and they were like, okay, they're going to...
Holding pattern, let me get confirmation from the boss as to what to do, and they were like, let it go, let it go. I'm wondering if anyone else did something like this, like these kind of that exact conversation were to happen, I'd imagine they would have gotten a strike and they'd gotten banned. But I wonder if YouTube was scared, like, we cannot defend against a lawsuit from Turning Point, from Steve Bannon, and from Tim Pool all at the same time over this. And because they're on stage at this massive convention center, the PR damage from taking the show down would be so massive. So I think that's a possibility.
Elon Musk needs to buy YouTube.
Yeah, good luck. But the reason I think it's possible that they've got their thumb on the scale is because you guys who watch the show consistently know this. There was one episode where Luke started talking about the CIA, and then the stream cut off.
Wow.
Yep. Dropped off. Like, Luke made some specific points, and then stream just stops and then kicks back in a few seconds later, and people are like, what did Luke just say? What was he saying? And that's literally what happens now, and it happens a lot. Maybe it's just like a random glitch that happens.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
It could be.
But
that would
it happens a lot, you said.
But it doesn't happen during, like, we're talking about a TV show.
No. Yeah.
It doesn't happen we're talking about Quantum Mania or Thanos or anything like that.
It's always specific topics.
Only when we're like, the intelligence agencies are doing this thing and drop.
But it could happen at other times. We just wouldn't know because no one would say anything because we weren't talking about anything.
Right. And I'd also see that the drop frames would tell me that, like, we're dropping frames in like a huge number. It would tell me that it's not doing that, but it's not.
Behind the scenes at Minds, I would tell you that don't assume malfeasance. If there's technical glitches, it's very easily like AWS is acting up. Your servers are, they're transferring data from one server to another.
I'm done believing it's all just a mistake.
Yeah.
Right? We've been talking about censorship and big tech for 7-8 years now. Or longer actually, maybe even 9 years. Luke was getting demonetized before anyone knew what the word was. Someone was manually going, check this out. We all know what it means to be demonetized on YouTube these days. You got a little $sign icon on your video. You go in one day, it's yellow. And it says, ads limited. When Luke from We Are Change was making videos, this is back in like 2011, I'm hanging out with him. And then one day he's like, dude, my ads are turned off again. And in his account, the little green icon, it was a circle back then, is grayed out. He'd have to go back in the video and activate it again. Then he'd come back later and they'd all be gray again. And he'd go in and turn them on, because there was no formal demonetization process.
Yeah.
Someone at Google or YouTube was manually axing his account and taking ads off of each individual video.
Wow.
So we know that was happening then. Then they created the system to automate it. Now we have this. I went and hung out at the offices of Ustream back in the day. Do you guys remember Ustream?
Yeah, we used to stream on that.
Yeah.
With the letter U. Yeah.
That's where Joe Rogan started streaming, wasn't it? He used to do
I don't know.
Joe Rogan Experience on Ustream.
Yeah, I believe so.
And they had guys sitting at a table with a bunch of computers, and on the monitors there would be like 50 live streams all going at once. And I'm like, what is this? And they're like, we basically just watch all of it. And if someone looks like they're becoming a problem, we move them over into this panel on the left. And then basically they look for people who are about to break the rules or they think might break the rules, take them from the main grid and put them in the select box. And then if that person takes their shirt off or does something, they nuke it right away, take the stream right down.
Yeah, I highly
know
doubt it's all
YouTube
a
has that.
coincidence.
Right. YouTube has to have way more sophisticated tools than that.
Yeah, they probably have AI watching language. I wouldn't even be surprised if they have AI reading voice cadence. So if you start to get agitated, it can tell.
Yep.
My
And
gosh.
that's
So the trick is to just deliver horrible messages in a monotone.
In a super cool,
In a
calm way. Don't move your
super
eyebrows. Yeah, very, very
well,
still.
I think they have humans who watch. And for a show
Yeah.
like this, as big as it is, I'm willing to bet that there's like 10 shows and they have like one guy who's watching all at the same time. Or more importantly, I'm willing to bet for a show this big, they have one guy who's hired to watch the show.
At least
job.
one guy, probably.
Yeah.
One person,
Probably a
and they're
group of
like,
people.
because
Your show, Rogan's show, and a few others.
Yeah, any big
Yeah.
live streams would probably have
well,
groups of
Joe's not on
admins,
YouTube
if you
anymore.
could afford
Oh,
it.
right, true.
Yeah,
But,
all the big live streams. For
I
sure.
suppose I can only say I agree with you. Don't believe that nothing is going on, but just don't believe anything about it. Don't believe that it's people there twisting knobs. Don't believe that it's the data getting corrupted. Like there's no way to know. So there's no point in coming in with a strong belief on it. But I would like to know.
I would say it seems highly probable that is
Yeah.
the case.
Yeah. Honestly, it does. Just because when I'm watching this, it seems fine all the time, and then I will see comments about I'm not getting it recommended. I have a couple accounts on my phone, and I check and make sure that I'm still getting the notifications. And sometimes I don't get notifications on some of those accounts, and sometimes I do get notifications. The show is live on some accounts. So,
But
I mean, the Turning Point USA thing was really weird.
Yeah.
Because I get off the stage and then I'm told immediately the show didn't go live for like 10 minutes. It didn't go
It
live.
was very stressful for the rest of us backstage, being like, what is happening? Because we could see it in the monitors, but we, like
Couldn't see
the
it on
first thing
YouTube.
I did was pull up on YouTube, and you think maybe there'll be a 30-second delay, right? Like you think it's a big show. I don't remember how long our lag is anyways, whatever. Like it doesn't kick in, and we all sort of turn to each other like,
When was this?
This was
How long ago was that?
December?
2 months? No,
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple months.
Was it
At-
oh, yeah, right.
at,
December.
End of November.
Amfest?
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
that the train?
Yeah.
December 15, yeah. So
Oh, wow.
December, beginning of December.
Fairly recent.
As a quick aside, the poll says people think the FBI raid on Biden, 55% say it was a cover-up, 45% say deep state removal. But again, we had on more than one occasion, Luke would start talking about the intelligence agencies and things they've done, and then all of a sudden the show would drop for like 20 seconds or something.
we could double blind test on Rumble. I mean, that's some advice is we could try a different platform and see if it happens again on the other. But the thing is, it happens spottily, and it could be not even Alphabet, the company. It could be like
Well, we
CIA,
can test it out
who
now
knows?
and continue talking about the CIA and the FBI and see if it drops off.
Yeah. I don't know. It's definitely certain topics. It's definitely topic based.
I'm loath to go that direction to
Really?
start assuming for sure that it's because of the topic.
Yeah, I can understand why you would be. I get it, and you honestly have more experience with this than I would. But in my experience, it seems like it's topic based, and what I've seen in the past, I've watched the show for years. It definitely seems like there's,
Can you guys listening, adminning at YouTube right now, super chat us and let us know if there are technologies
I've
you're
got-
using to mute and
Oh, dude,
push things around?
they have to have it.
Just let us know.
You know how I guarantee you, I would say there is no less than a 100% chance they have that ability. You know why? Because a crackpot psychopath live streamed himself going into a church in New Zealand.
Right.
That kind of stuff has happened before. It's happened more than once. And I'm sure when that happened, every big tech platform said, we need the ability to instantly shut down any stream. We need robot AI, whatever, tracking noises.
Right.
YouTube has a rule that you cannot do anything with guns live. So if you're on YouTube and you have a gun channel, you can go out to your range and do tutorials and like what's that gun channel? Hickok 45, I think is a good one.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen it?
Yeah.
And so that's all fine. And they're like, yeah, you can do that's totally fine.
'Cause it's recorded.
Not live though.
Right.
Yeah.
And it has to be in the proper setting. So it
Correct.
can only be at a gun shop to display the weapon, or it can be on the range where it's safe. So I'm willing to bet they've got workers and AI. And I bet the workers get alerted when the AI flags something.
Right.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of pressure from all of these different organizations with a lot of money on social media platforms to censor content, to go after discrimination, hate speech, violence, etc. So
What about, remember all those Facebook censors who are not necessarily censors, but I think they would be considered censors. They were watching Facebook material, and so it was uploaded to Facebook to check it wasn't that a whole big story, and that kind of disappeared. They were talking about how it was detrimental to their health, how they were watching so much negative content all the time, and it was like
Yep.
damaging them. Remember that? And
Well,
then it just
Ian
kinda
did
went
it
away.
too.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Minds.
I did a video about that in 2018. That was right after that idea broke, 2017, when
Right.
people started coming out. They'll hire people to look at the darkest dregs of humanity. I mean, stuff
Yeah,
will go
yeah,
up
yeah.
on YouTube.
Are you talking about the TikTok lawsuit? I'm so sorry.
Oh, no problem.
No. I'm talking about like
Because there was a TikTok
on
censor
Facebook.
lawsuit.
Yeah.
The censors are seeing so much murder and child abuse.
The burnout rate's
Yeah, you know, there was TikTok
TikTok,
contracts,
I'm sure.
TikTok contracts to a
Yeah.
third party, and they filed a class action lawsuit for
Yeah,
similar
I'm
reason.
sure.
I'm sure your video
The
is more.
third party filed one against TikTok.
Yeah, for damages because they say they just see terrible, awful things, and they have to like they'll work. Part of it is like they'll work really long shifts, right, and then like without a break from anything. They're just taking in all this terrible content.
Yeah, it's not. It was 24/7 for me. So I'd go in, I'd look at 300 things, I'd go out. An hour later, I'd go back in, look at another 100 things, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it was all day of my life for 5 years. That was my life.
For those that are wondering why Ian is the way he is, he used to be normal, and then he looked at these things and he became more and more twisted.
I did used to be normal. I used to watch BangedUp.com. You ever watch those old Faces of Death shows and stuff?
Dude.
Like in 2001, when the internet was finally on and I could finally watch video, I'd go
on America Online.
Yeah, it was. I think I had America Online at the time, and that was like hard to watch. But I was like, if it happens, I should be able to see it. If it's going to happen in real life, I should see it. But like that doesn't mean I need to see every blown open body.
Yeah,
it
true.
gets to the point where you need to protect the mind, and I don't know how we're going to handle administrating these things.
Right. This is a big challenge because there are evil people posting evil stuff on all of these platforms. And, you know, Elon, of course, came in, and that was a big thing he was trying to do is get rid of this stuff because Twitter certainly wasn't for whatever reason. Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.